2.
Hide me! You have to hide me!
Kaiser, you can't pawn this off on us.
I know, but Dragon Ball Super critics are gonna want our heads on pikes, and I would know! I'm one of them!
I had it at number 7 on my personal list for the record, so my hands are clean of this.
Kaiser, the fact that you're a Dragon Ball Super critic should actually be a point in favor of this form's position.
Okay, yeah, you're right. And it doesn't do me any good to not stand by my convictions, so... Ultra Instinct is one of the best transformations in the entire series.
Although some people don't actually like to refer to it as a transformation, but more an advanced state of being that one can achieve by training one's body. And while this was up for debate for a while in the fan base upon its introduction, it's impossible to deny that the franchise now treats it as a transformation first and foremost.
It's important to get that distinction out of the way, as this particular transformation is very dissimilar to the rest of the list. With a lot of these transformations, the most noticeable difference, besides the visual variance, is that it increases one's power. And with many of the Super Saiyan forms, it's achieved by breaking through a boundary.
The very concept behind Ultra Instinct is rooted in classic martial arts rhetoric and spirituality. The idea that your body is so harmonized with your mind that you advance so far in your training that conscious thought is no longer required. Your body will now react all on its own without the ego and will dodge, parry, block, and attack on instinct, cutting out the brief but vital wasted time of thought.
This concept is actually broached in Resurrection F, and subsequently Super, by Whis during his training with Goku and Vegeta. He tells them both that they're too slow and that their attacks lack power, because they're too busy thinking to react accordingly, that the goal of their training is to reach a state where thought is no longer a part of the process. And this is important, because while the series doesn't touch back on this for a while, it does come back into play during the final arc of the series, the Tournament of Power.
Now, we're sure you guys at home are well aware of our particular critiques of Super as a whole at this point, the Tournament of Power included, but never let it be said that there weren't a ton of brilliant moments in the Tournament of Power, and many of them involved this form specifically. And the first and maybe most exciting moment of the entire arc is Ultra Instinct's introduction.
Goku has pushed himself to the limit against Universe 11's strongest fighter, Jiren. With even the Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken combo falling short, he's up against the wall with very little options left. Luckily, the Omni Kings give him the go-ahead to absolutely break the rules and use the Spirit Bomb. And Jiren himself even allows Goku the time to charge it out of both respect for his opponent and in hopes to utterly and completely crush him.
This is the first time we've seen the technique since Boo, so seeing it pop up again here does ring out some nostalgia. But any savvy viewer knows that this has little chance of working. We're obviously nowhere near the climax. But that only makes it even more curious of what could possibly come next. And what follows is a doozy.
Goku launches the attack, fueled by almost everyone of Universe 7, but it does little to budge Jiren, who rebukes the attack and sends it right back against him. Unable to withstand both Jiren's overwhelming power and the massive energy of the Spirit Bomb, it explodes with Goku at the heart of it, and seemingly takes him with it. The dust clears and he's nowhere to be seen. The entirety of the cast shaken and amazed at the apparent loss of Universe 7's strongest fighter. And in a moment of desperation, and possibly sadness, Beerus calls his name.
Goku.
The Omni Kings prepare to declare Goku defeated.
However, a rumble occurs. Beerus grins and realizes the truth before declaring,
Here it comes.
and from the very depths of despair itself, in defiance of the gods and the odds, Goku erupts from the crater in the ring, now adorned in a wicked new blue aura and piercing silver eyes. This is something new and something amazing, and nobody knows exactly how to make sense of it. And then, Goku moves.
And the fight that follows is, let's be honest, one of the best animated and most thrilling moments in all of Dragon Ball. Accompanied by one of the hypest songs in the franchise, we see Goku move and react in ways we've never seen before.
It's really important to note how good the animation during this sequence is, because the very nature of his movements necessitate fluidity and superb character acting. And it is glorious. He finds himself focused only on Jiren, dismissing both Top and Dispo.
And things only get wilder from here as these two go head to head. And while we may seem focused squarely on the events of the transformation here, they demonstrate that Goku has taken the very first step into a new, greater realm through fluid movements and intense targeted attacks. No fight or form in the series has felt quite like this.
But this is where we need to point out a complicated aspect of the transformation. It's not finished. While Ultra Instinct Sign and plain Ultra Instinct are named separately, there's a lot of debate as to whether or not they're two different forms. Ultra Instinct Sign is really just unmastered Ultra Instinct, a halfway point more than its own specific form. So in our own personal perspective, who gives a crap? We'll have them both in here. It's our list, we're gonna do what we want.
We should also note the visuals of this particular stage. While a vast majority of Goku's transformations necessitate a change in hair color, Sign keeps his hair black, but changes his eyes and gives him this unique, particle-laden aura. While we're not particularly huge fans of the composited aura of God, this aura actually works wonderfully, selling the mysterious and fierce nature of this new form.
We'd see this particular incarnation pop up approximately 2 times more throughout the rest of the arc, once against Kefla and again against Jiren.
Side note, its use against Kefla is one of the best finishes in the entirety of Dragon Ball. Don't at us.
But unfortunately, this lack of mastery of the technique has a significant drawback. While his ability to dodge and react has been bolstered significantly, his offensive abilities are still lacking, and each time he breaks into Sign, he's left having to compensate for that weakness, until he's finally up against Jiren in what seems to be their final battle.
And while he manages to eke his way closer and closer, it ultimately puts him on the losing end against the giant gray wall before him. But finally, when pushed to the absolute limit, and with literally no ground left to stand on, Goku breaks through, shrouded in light, and attacks Jiren with blistering, blinding speed. The gods, in reverence, stand side by side in the seats, and they all acknowledge that Goku has finally achieved Ultra Instinct.
And it's a little disappointing. No, but seriously, not a total disappointment. The pursuing fight is nothing but pure, unadulterated Sakuga.
But there are a couple of glaring problems.
Silver, or white depending on the shot, hair on Goku is a mixed bag. It doesn't quite match his aesthetic, and it honestly just left us missing the black hair. It also makes this form feel more in line with other transformations, which honestly only serves to take away from how unique it actually is.
Also, this is one of the worst auras in the entire series. Not because it's altogether ugly looking, although frankly in many shots it looks flat out awful, but in how it covers up so much of the brilliant work on the part of the animators. All this gorgeous Sakuga is going to waste because the post-effects guys went too ham in Adobe After Effects.
Especially once Jiren whips out his full power and we're stuck with 2 ugly auras obscuring the action. But ignoring all of that, once the battle starts, it feels like the animators and writers are genuinely struggling to convey the spirit of the form. While the fight is utterly intense and, as we've reiterated several times, drop-dead dazzling, it feels like they wanted to focus on the Ultra and less on the Instinct.
And the reason that's such a point of contention regarding this form is that otherwise, Ultra Instinct is incredibly groundbreaking in that it's one of the only forms Goku acquires that's not about making him more powerful. It's about reaching a state of enlightenment, a goal for all martial artists, where the body is elevated beyond the self. It's intimate and mysterious, but most of all, it's something not inherent to his biology. This isn't Super Saiyan. This isn't a transformation through absorption. Its only exclusivity is to martial artists.
It's the culmination of Whis' training, but also of Goku's journey. It's a breakthrough unlike any other before for him, that could very well propel him truly into the realm of the gods.
Also, it comes with 3 of the best animated fights in all of Dragon Ball, outside of Super Broly.
Hopefully, if we ever get an adaptation to the latest Super manga arc, they'll figure out an adjustment to maybe make full Ultra Instinct Goku look a little less busy.
So, if full Ultra Instinct had ended up looking better and they'd better conveyed the concept in the fight, do you guys think it would have made your number 1?
I won't lie, I'd consider it. But I think the audience knows what's coming next, and probably also knows that that is a wall that even Ultra Instinct might have trouble overcoming.